Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Whitewater Township Board of Trustees meeting. If I could have everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Fiscal Officer Jim Brett, do a roll call, please.
Mr. Pope? Here. Mr. Shively?
Here.
Mr. King?
Here. And we need acceptance of the, let me back this up a bit.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of the March 11th regular meeting.
I'll second it.
Voice vote, please.
Mr. Pope? Yay. Mr. Shively?
Yay.
Mr. King?
Yay. And we need acceptance of the meeting minutes from April 10th, 2024. That was the special meeting of the Board of Trustees, CDBG public hearing.
I'll take a motion to accept them.
And I'll second that.
Voice vote, please.
Mr. Pope? Yay. Mr. Shively?
Yay.
Mr. King?
Yay. And did everybody get a chance to review the invoices? If so, can we get acceptance of those?
I'll make a motion to accept them.
Yeah, I'll second.
Voice vote, please.
Mr. Pope?
Yay.
Mr. Shively?
Yay.
And Mr. King?
Yay. And Sergeant May, you want to jump into your sheriff's report?
Good evening, all.
Good evening.
Good evening.
All right, we are dealing with the reports taken in March 2024. And during this period, we had 2 burglary reports taken, 7 theft reports, 2 of which were autos, and 1 of which a recovery was made with an arrest. We had 1 identity fraud report, 4 criminal damagings, 4 domestic violence reports, 4 assault reports, 1 menacing report, 4 telecommunication harassment reports. We had 1 sexual battery, 1 engaging in prostitution, interesting one we don't normally see. We had 8 80 case reports and 3 other non-criminal reports as part of a grand total up to 40. We had 24 which were closed, 16 are still active. We had 38 in February, so a slight uptick. And then likewise with auto accidents, we had 30 in the township, we had 25 in February. And then calls for service were up to be expected this time of year, 423 versus our 386 in February. So things are definitely on the uptick so far as activity. Which brings me to my next, if I may be excused after this, unless you gentlemen need me, that it's been one of those days already and I have some things to attend to because the sun's shining and things go haywire.
Everybody's out. You guys have anything for Sergeant?
I do not.
I'm good. Go do the things you need to do.
Yes, it's going to be a long night. It already has been. I just started. That's the sad part.
Yep.
So
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead. Stay safe out there.
I appreciate it, gentlemen, and we shall see each other once again next month.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Take
you.
care, y'all. Thank you.
All right, we do not have anything on here for public presentation requests. Jim, you didn't get anything?
No.
Okay. Let's go ahead and jump into our township reports. Chief, you want to come on up?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Our run totals for the month of March 2024, we had 83 EMS details with 76 patients, and 57 of those were transported. We had 42 fire details, which gives us a monthly total of 125 details for the month. And that brings our yearly totals up to 373 details for the month. I'll skip through this middle part here unless you have any questions. Our staffing for the month of March, no station closures and 100% of our shifts were covered by our township paramedics. And as always, we are still utilizing WestJet in addition to supplement our paramedic staffing when needed. Our full-time staff, Lieutenant Troy Swearingen, has resigned his full-time paramedic position effective March 30th, 2024. He will remain under the department as a part-time lieutenant at this time. We do have an internal full-time process for a firefighter paramedic, which was posted, and we've received 4 resumes and letters of interest to fill that position, and we have those interviews set up for this coming Wednesday. Miami Town Station, the front and rear entry doors and frames are in desperate need of replacement. A proposal was sent to the board last week for your review, and I would like to recommend that Wellman Construction perform the entry door and frame replacement at a cost of $9,400, and that will replace the doors with something similar to what's there with the side lights, hollow metal doors. They'll move the hardware and lock sets and all that over. Along with that, I would also like to recommend Wellman Construction replace the iron corner guards for the brick on each side of the bay doors at the Miami Town Station. When the apron was poured, those guards were down below the concrete level, and the bottoms of them had all rusted out, and plus they had to cut them off when they removed that concrete to prevent from damaging and pulling them off of the building. So all the lower parts of those iron guards are all rusted out, and they're in need of replacing. He has provided us a quote of $4,700 to replace those guards, and it's a total of 8 of them. That is the only price I received because I really did not know where to reach out for somebody else to be able to do that work, and he was there working on the basement. And I said, hey, is this something that you guys could replace? And he said, sure. I said, well, can you give me a price on that? So. And sticking with the Miami Town Station, with that, I'd like permission from the, hello. There I am, Josh, thanks. I'd like permission to begin moving forward with the remodeling project for the basement. And basically, I would like to start by sending out an RFP for an architect that we can hire to draw up some plans for the basement. So if seeking permission from the board, if we can go ahead and start moving forward on that project. We had some vehicles on govdeals.com. We had the 2010 ambulance, which sold for $5,600. And we also had the 2004 Crown Vic, which did not meet the reserve, so it did not sell. I believe Peggy has relisted that. Okay, so it was relisted with a new reserve, and it will sell this time. Spring hydrant checks, beginning this week, we will have crews conducting spring hydrant checks throughout the township. This may briefly discolor the water in your home. If that happens, just let the water run for a little bit, and it should clear up. If it does not clear up, contact your water provider, which in the southern end of the township will be Cleves Waterworks, and in the northern end, Miami Town, Blue Jay area, that would be Cincinnati Waterworks. And again, this is only if you're on the public water line. So please be aware and slow down when in the areas where the fire department personnel are working alongside the roadway, and that'll keep them safe and yourself as well. So I have spring weather on here, but the last 2 days it's been like summer. So spring weather brings the threat of severe weather. And one way you can stay alert to changing weather conditions is with Alert HC, which stands for Alert Hamilton County. It's a mass notification system used to notify residents about emergencies and other important information throughout the county. This can be downloaded to any smart device, tablet, or computer. You simply go to hamiltoncounty.gov/emergency_management_agency /AlertHC, and that will direct you to the Alert HC information and how you can sign up for that. And also that link is on our Facebook page. So if there are no questions, or if you have any questions, if not, that's all I have.
Can we post that on our website as well?
Sure, I can send that over to Peggy.
Probably get that posted on our website, just in case somebody's not looking. I mean, it's always good at least to have it out there.
We can do that.
Okay.
You said
Go ahead.
there's 8 of them corner pieces? Is that what you said, there was 8 of them?
Yeah, there's 4 doors, yeah.
How tall up do they go?
They're about 4 foot. They're just Yeah, they're probably about 4-foot pieces.
They just wrap around about 3 or 4 inches or something, or on each side?
Like 2.5, 3, yeah, about 2.5, 3 inches. Yeah, they're just, and again, it was something when the building was built back in the 70s to protect the corners of the buildings from backing in and protecting the brick from crumbling.
Is it actually a cast piece or just like a broke piece of steel?
I don't know what it is. It's just, it's a real half-inch, it's about a half-inch piece of angle iron.
It's a quarter-inch piece of
Yeah,
angle
quarter
iron,
inch.
about 3 by 3, that just sets on the corner of the brick on both here between each thing.
And they've got studs on them where when they put the brick up, they were put up with the brick right into the mortar, and that's how they were secured to the building.
So it's already got the anchors there too.
Well, the anchors are part of the angle iron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to take it, oh, yeah.
They'll have to remove the old anchors or leave the old anchors and cut them off and put new ones in a different spot. But the angle irons go down between the apron and the building, so they're gonna have to cut the old.
Oh, so they're sunk in.
Well, no, they've already been cut off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
they have been
they're,
cut
so
off.
they're about 2 inches above
Okay.
above the apron right now. So we cut those off before
I
we
get something.
poured.
That's probably something we might be able to get a couple more quotes on, or
Just if you can point me in the direction on where to go, who does that kind of work.
I might have an idea.
I think we,
Only because I want to check it, not that I don't want them to do it, just to make sure, if we could save a buck, then I got a couple, make a few phone calls. Is it all right if we push it to the
Yeah,
next
no,
meeting?
that's fine, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We can.
Yeah, because actually
we can do
one of them-
We could do the one.
Yeah, I'm good.
Actually, one of them is off the building.
yeah,
Okay.
On the angle irons. One of them, we took off the building before they did or when they were doing the concrete, because we were going to see if we could replace them and what all it would take. And when Mike was still here, he pulled one off the building, and it was a little more in-depth than what he planned, so.
That's what it sounds like.
Is it something that we can approve to up to that amount and then try to find somebody else? Like if we said, we'll approve it up to the amount, if we can't find somebody else,
If
we can
we-
go ahead and have them do it?
If we have to wait, we can wait. I mean,
Okay.
it's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I think we can move on those doors and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
wait on for the next year, that's a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's one of those things that it needs to be taken care of, but it's not an emergency. I mean,
Yeah,
you know.
I think we do that. I think you're on the right
Yeah.
track. I think we do that. We can move on.
yeah,
those
it's not,
doors
it's
and-
not an emergency situation or anything on the
Right.
corners.
You want to make a motion on the doors in that right now?
Yeah, let's go ahead and Chief, while you're up here, I'll make a motion on those doors of what, that's $9,400, right?
Yes.
Front and back, let's go ahead and
Yeah, I'll second that on the doors.
voice vote, please.
Mr. Pope?
Yay.
Mr. Scheibele?
Yay.
Mr. King?
Yay. And we'll just put on hold, and if you can let Chief know.
Yeah, I'll come down and look at it tomorrow and then take a couple pictures and call a couple people that I know.
Okay.
We just want to
so
table
we
that
make sure.
till next month.
And then we're gonna table the other stuff till next month, until trustee Shively gets with Chief. And
Sounds good.
Well, while we're talking about the fire department stuff, we could make a motion to approve the looking for an architect on the,
Oh, yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve I mean, for those that don't remember, it was about 3 years ago we approved.
more than that.
Yeah, 3 or 4 years ago, we approved the remodeling of Miami Town, and just other things got in the way, and,
Well, Hooven kind of got in the way.
yeah, Hooven got in the way, and
COVID.
COVID got in the
Got in the way,
way,
too,
yeah, so, yeah, I'll make a motion that we continue to move forward with the architect
I'll
on
second
Miami
it.
Town.
Voice vote?
Mr. Pope?
Yay.
Mr. Scheibele?
Yay.
Mr. King?
Yay. It's funny when we say 3 years, and it's been more like 5.
Yeah, well, time flies when you're having fun.
Oh, jeez. Goodness. Anything else for Chief?
I don't have anything else for you.
I don't either.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, Josh, you want to do your maintenance?
Good evening.
Good evening, Josh.
I apologize, last week was a bit of a hassle for me, so I didn't have a report to turn in. I was out for a few days. There's just a couple things I'd like to touch on. First, what Scott's talking about on the corner of the bays, that is a pretty touchy area. If I remember correctly, I was there when Mike was taking that off, and the studs are welded to the back of the angle. So you got to be careful when taking them off, because it was wanting to pull like the mortar and brick and a couple other things out. So it's not just like really pulling them off and replacing them. It's going to be a bit of a job. The other thing I want to touch on is, or just remind everybody that our spring cleanup is this month, April 27th, from 9 to 3 p.m. Excuse me. Or until full. We are going to be limited space on tires, so it is first come, first serve, like I said, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. or until full. We have a container in Miamitown that's going to be on Front Street, which is behind the church there in Miamitown. And besides that, I really don't have a whole lot to talk about. Just remind everybody that April 27th is our annual spring cleanup.
Do they do paint and stuff like that, like old paint? They don't do old
We
paint?
don't do that,
Okay.
no. No oil, paint, gas, batteries. Peggy had a flyer made up and sent out, and everything should be on there.
Yeah, I had some questions if it's like mattresses and couches. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, mattresses we can accept.
We still take
Mattresses,
mattresses, couches, furniture.
Yeah, they do not have to be wrapped. We'd
That's what
prefer
I
if they
told them.
were,
I said,
but they do not have to be.
I told them I was pretty sure the last time we did it, you do not have to wrap them.
Correct,
Okay.
correct.
But you do have to handle them yourself.
Yes.
Josh and I work it every year. We do not physically handle your furniture.
Right.
Yeah.
We both have backs that we want to keep the way they are, and we're not
Yeah.
gonna, we're
Yeah,
not.
because people were asking, so, and I at least told them, I said.
Yeah,
I'm
they don't
pretty
have
sure
to. Back in the day when they used to have them wrapped, or
Yeah.
a few years ago, that really was to keep down on the tonnage, because if it were to rain, those mattresses and couches would soak up all the
Gotcha.
water, and that would make the tonnage go up, which would end up costing more.
Gotcha.
But we've been lucky on that, so.
Okay.
Well, our container service dumps most of the containers right away,
Right.
so they're quicker
They're
on
not
it.
sitting for a week.
So when they ask about the paints and that, we can just tell them, we usually do that in the fall.
Hopefully, we'll be able to do that
Hopefully,
again
but-
this fall, but
We are on schedule.
we are on the
Yeah.
schedule for a fall
So
cleanup.
that's good to know,
Okay.
because people were asking that too.
Not latex paint. They don't take latex.
Okay.
Yeah.
Latex paint, you can
Yeah.
dump out in a sheet pan, let it
dry,
dry,
right?
and,
Kitty litter.
Kitty
Yeah.
litter.
yeah, take the lid off, let it dry and set up, and throw it
Yeah,
away
You're allowed to
then.
throw it away, once it's hardened or full of kitty litter.
Yeah, this is a good thing, because people start asking a lot of questions. They like
Yeah.
it, everybody's, they got your little card in the mail, and they're asking a lot of questions, which is good.
And the card was late, and that was due to Ronnie
Yeah.
and getting the fire dumpsters.
Yeah, we wasn't sure about the tire dumpster
Yeah.
stuff, but we're getting them, so.
Okay, all right.
That's all I have.
Anything?
unless guys
Thank
have
you.
anything for me.
Thanks, Josh.
Thanks.
Community Center, do you want to
Yep.
read that?
On the community center, attendance for 3/14 to 3/28, 2024. Euchre during the weekdays was 97. Euchre on Friday nights was 81. Chair volleyball was 11. Bluegrass was 98, and country music was 101, for a total of 323. Rentals, for April, the shelter was closed, the center had 1. For May, the shelter is closed, the center has 1. Just a reminder, the programs available at the center is volleyball, euchre, chair volleyball, euchre, bluegrass, country music. Call 513-367-6046 if you have any questions or for more information. As always, we're always looking for new ideas for new programs for the center. If anyone has any thoughts, please contact Carolyn at 513-367-6046.
All right, any questions, trustee Pope, on the center?
No, sir.
I think the center looks nice, I like it. Very nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, it looks good.
definitely a nice,
If everybody hasn't noticed, they
Facelift.
painted everything in here, it looks really nice. Yeah,
yeah, new countertops and
It
cleaned
looks
it up.
bigger.
very nice. All right, we'll go into our committee reports. Jim, you got anything on the water sewer board?
I do. I got a message today at noon that said,
They're, well, they didn't know what the new name of the old Harrison Press was, but our request for proposals for the 128 sewer project, it's going to be Phase 1, will be in the paper next week.
Nice. Wow.
So
Shoo. Well,
that's
good news.
assuming they get it in time to meet the deadline, maybe the week after, but it'll be in the paper. So
How long have we been waiting to hear that?
12 years,
good.
13 years.
Yeah. 14 years, yeah.
So give or take a year or two.
Outstanding.
So
And your next meeting is,
next Tuesday night, 7 o'clock here at this building.
so if anybody wants to go and see what that water sewer board is all about, come down and join your meeting. Everybody's welcome. Anything else for Jim?
I do not.
Economic development, do we want to?
I guess just that we talked with Brenda about the existing TIFs,
Yep,
and
we got some, on the economic development, we got some things do we need to post that and do a resolution on anything else? So we're looking, do we need to move forward with some other TIFs down in the Miami town area? And I guess we can talk about that another time, but I think there's another resolution we're gonna have to look at some point
possibly,
for down there, and which means we need to get it in the paper and post it for the schools and all that. That's a 14-day notice?
yeah, the schools have to have 14 days of notice, so if we end up and do that, we'll have to do that before the next meeting, then it'll be on your agenda for the next
Depending on
meeting.
the percentage,
Yeah.
the school
Yeah.
has to be notified or not.
So we'll keep everybody posted on that as we continue to move forward. And I know that Skyline's getting ready to open down there, and I don't know if anybody was gonna share anything about that, but they got some fireworks and everything they're doing on April 27th. Did everybody see anything on that?
Is that when you're supposed to open?
Skyline is, Skyline, SES Construction, several other businesses down in Miami Town. Chief, I can forward that to you. You got it. They're gonna be doing a fireworks show down at, Little Fenway. So I'm thinking that's when Skyline will be actually opening, is on the 27th. So, they're gonna be serving all kind of stuff, free painting faces for the kids and free ice cream and.
It's the day of our cleanup here.
Day of the cleanup, and it starts at 6 that evening. So I'll get that out, Peggy. Maybe we can put that on our site as well, kind of push that with Skyline.
Yeah, if you could forward that email to me, Peggy, I would appreciate it.
Yeah, it came from David Selhorst, so you guys probably have something.
I haven't
It came
seen
out
it.
Today, or, okay. If not, we'll get together, make sure we can get all that information
Yeah.
out.
Did you get it, Guy? Did you get it?
And
I don't know. If it came this afternoon, I checked, which was on it this morning, it wasn't, I didn't see it this morning.
And on the economic development, I want to put out that trustee Shively brought up, which I was not aware of, what was going in the old Gold Star down there next to Kroger and Hooven. It sounds like it's going to be a Penn Station is
That's
what
what they
they're
say.
saying. That it's going to be, is that right, Chief? So Chief, okay, that a Penn Station's going to be going in down there where the old Gold Star was at. So that'll be nice as well, too. I said that to my wife, and she was like, oh, that's great. So we wasn't sure. So there are some things moving and shaking, and Jim and I will be still doing a little bit more on this economic development, probably over the next months, especially with all these bids going out. So we'll have hopefully we get a lot of movement happening here.
If you're talking about businesses that are opening back up, right down the street, Flippers, the pinball place, they are opening back up at the beginning of May.
Okay,
So they closed down last year. They were open for like a month, and then they unexpectedly closed down.
Great.
Just saw some posts on social media last week that they are planning on opening back up beginning of May.
Why'd they
So-
close? Why'd they,
Honestly, don't know.
yeah.
okay. All right, so Jim, anything else on
I think
economic development?
that's all I have.
Okay. All right, you guys have any questions on the economic development stuff?
I do not at this time.
Okay. We Thrive? Will?
On the We Thrive, a reminder that the litter getter, the roadside cleanup is this Saturday What time's that begin here, Peggy? 9? It is on the Whitewater Township Neighbors Facebook page, the cleanup to get the time. Come here to the center to get grabbers, bags, what have you, and then go to the area where you prefer. Most people clean up on the road near their house. I know I'm taking Suspension Bridge Road this year. I'm gonna do it because it's near my house, and we'll have Green Acres people doing Kilby Road and highway interchange and what we can, and the county will come around and grab the full garbage bags on Monday. So that's what we're working on, We Thrive, right now.
Okay, perfect. Any questions for him?
Nope.
Solid waste, trustee Shively, you have anything on there?
Nothing new on that.
That's
Good
a
news
good-
is good news.
That's a good one, yeah. All right, trustee Pope, you got anything else on West Jad you want to throw in?
We did have a West Jad meeting. Everything's going as to be expected. No new developments to report.
That's good, too.
Yeah, it is good.
Yeah, that
West Jad's running real smooth. People
Nice.
seem to be real happy, and
Okay,
it's
yeah, good job with that.
doing well.
Yeah, yeah, good job with that, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that could be tough at times, yeah.
It's gelling very well right
Nice.
now.
That's very nice. Old business, Jim, you got on here the license tax. Do you want to share some information on that? Or whoever else might have any, but,
I just wanted to let you know that I've started the process with Brian Pacheco to get the resolution. We'll need to do that and check with the state. So just an update to let you know that we should have that on the agenda for next month for approval.
okay. Safety service levy, do we want to address that now, Jim?
Well,
Do you have anything on, I mean, I see it under here, old business, that's the levy we had on, but it's still, you got the sheriff still wanting some
Yeah, that's-
money. Obviously, in my opinion is, we got to make sure our fire department's functioning first, and, but,
so I did have a meeting with Jeff Aludo and Lisa Wells. It was kind of a combined meeting for me, Miami Township, Whitewater Township, with trustee Robeson from Miami Township. And their basic stance was, well, we're going to give everybody until December 31st to figure out what they're going to do. And if we don't do anything, then they'll just cut us back to basic services. They'll respond to calls for service, but they won't guarantee where from and when. As we spoke about it, I told them, I said, I very seldom speak for the board, but the rollout plan for our township is very favorable. I said, if you could guarantee me that if we signed for the first 3 years of this contract and we weren't able to pass the levy and get the funding for the next section, that you would just hold it there until we could. I said, I feel like this board would pass that. I said, tonight. I said, if you give me that guarantee, I would bring it to them tonight, and I'm fairly sure they would pass it, because it's a very small amount. But I told them, I said, I don't see this board, and the Miami Township Board was the same way. They've got to put a levy on this year to pay for theirs, and they're in the $1.5 million range eventually, too. And so, they basically were told the same thing about Miami Township. What if we don't pass the levy, we don't have the money to pay for it, what happens? And, I believe Jeff Aludo, if he said, if you don't get the levy passed, then, I'll work with you. But we don't know where Jeff's going to be in 3 years.
yeah.
Yeah, they got.
We don't know who's going to take his place. We don't know who
Needs to
the
be in writing.
Yeah, we don't know who the commissioners are going to be, because by 3 years from now, you could have 3 new commissioners.
Yeah.
What is that small amount that you're talking about? Can you give us some kind of dollar amount, so,
It's next to nothing for the first
Yeah.
year.
for the,
Yeah, it was like,
Basically nothing the first year.
basically nothing.
so
I think
you're thinking, so,
it was like nothing, 30,000, and
And then like-
45,000,
yeah, or like
and then it
60.
starts to grow.
So you're thinking if it's 25, 30,000 and they wanted to do that for at least 3 years, then we could probably try to move forward because
It was 0, and then it was like 30, and then it was like 60. But then like the fourth year,
it was like,
big jump, and then like fifth year, they say, well, we don't know, we'll have to look at that when we get closer. But when you're signing it, you're guaranteeing that you're gonna, so basically you're signing a thing that says 3 years from now, they're gonna tell us what it's gonna be in 4 and 5.
Right.
and
I
we're
will
gonna have
not
to be-
sign an
Yeah.
open-ended contract.
You can't open that, I mean,
Well,
it's
you
gotta
know,
be
they-
something locked in.
They can't sign a contract over 3 years, they said. Because originally, they were going to do a 5-year contract. Then they said, well, we can only do a 3-year contract, but at the end of that 3 years, they've already said, this is the next set, this is what we're going to be asking for. We can't, it's going to get to where we can't afford that.
Yeah.
So, you know, if
so
we
so
could get
if I'm
some,
hearing you right, if they would do something in that 25, 30,000 a year for the next 3 years on a 3-year contract, because that's all they could do, and say that's all, that's what we'll do for 3 years, we wouldn't have to ask for a levy for the fire right now, but we could still try to move
we
forward.
would have to
with
ask for a levy for the sheriff.
I mean, the sheriff.
Yeah.
Excuse me. We wouldn't have to ask for the levy for the sheriff, right?
Right.
And we could still move forward with our fire department, is my just so everybody kind of hears and knows what we're.
I think we need to start talking about,
We do.
start putting a levy on for just the fire department.
We do.
To split them no matter what.
We
I
have
mean,
to,
Can-
because
we
we
have to
know
at
we
least-
have to do that, because that's coming, like that, we
Yeah.
have to do something for the fire.
And we need to do that. We're already into April. So if you hear anything else, I mean, and
And if you-
I'm thinking, if that's I'm willing to listen and.
Well, yeah,
let's
if they
talk
would do
about it.
that,
If they're
but-
gonna do that for 3 years but not keep bumping us up every
I-
single year, we won't be able to do it.
I've been telling them that for 2 years.
I know.
As far as the fire levy goes, I would like to, if we can do it and get together, I'd like to have a special meeting.
Sure.
I would like to have a special meeting concerning the fire levy proposal and what we do,
Yeah.
and advertise it a couple meetings ahead of time.
Yeah.
But we can't wait that long, because
No,
if we're
no,
gonna
we
put it
need-
on in November, it has to be,
the timeframe for this is, for a November meeting, it has to be to the Board of Elections 90 days in advance. And if they make an exception for Joe Biden being on the ballot in Ohio, they're not going to make an exception for our fire levy. So,
so we'd have to have it in by August.
Well,
That means we have to have a
we have
decision.
to have it to them by September 5th, which means we need to have the millage approved in August, which means we have to ask for the amount that the millage will bring in
July.
July.
Yeah.
So technically, we can ask for that millage amount 10 days before we need it, but, you know, I'd rather have some lead time there because they get really busy around that time of year.
September 5th is only 60 days before.
You're right, August.
It's.
So it's July and June.
So we'd have to have it in by June.
July and August.
Yeah, we have to turn it into the auditor by the end of June.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
So, and it's already
So you got
April,
the beginning
so,
of July and beginning of August, we need to get moving on this.
so folks, next month in May, we're gonna tell you when we're gonna have a special meeting and discuss this, because we can't wait past.
Right?
Can't we just do it at the normal meeting?
you can, or you could, you know, I would suggest it might be better procedurally to maybe set some time aside either before the meeting for a town hall type meeting where people can just talk about it and, you know, and, you know, and or, you know, maybe a special meeting on a Saturday morning. I don't know what people's schedules are in this, you know, in the summer with softball, baseball, soccer. You know, I only have to deal with a couple of those, so.
Weekdays would be better for people probably in the summer.
Yeah,
Because
weekdays are
weekends
better
are
for
always-
almost
With all
everybody.
the traveling sports and everything
worse
else.
for Doug.
So,
I mean, every day seems like it's getting worse the more things we get
So
into.
with the old business, let's leave this under the old business.
Okay.
Actually, leave both of them under the old business, Jim.
Okay.
But definitely Peggy and Jim and whatever we need to do, kind of move chief on this whole levy thing again, okay? Peggy, go
I have
ahead.
a question on the sheriff. For that 25,
No,
They'd be absolutely the same.
same. They're not,
Well,
they're not giving us a dedicated car.
Wherever they're at, they come, the same
They're-
thing.
They're saying,
Basic service,
they're saying that we would, that the western three townships would have 3 cars assigned.
They told me they
But
wouldn't.
so we don't have that.
by,
So by the 5th year, they said.
well, but
They said in the
But-
4th year, they'd start talking about how much extra we'd have to pay
By-
because we'd have to buy the cars.
by assigned, I mean, they would be normally scheduled for here, but like you said, when you delved, is that a word? When you looked into that, they weren't guaranteed cars.
They already have west side cars. They always have cars that are dedicated to this side of town. So it would be, they said, and that's where the numbers would get all crazy, because they said in the 4th year is when they would start talking about having, maybe, they never even said for sure, and by the 5th year that we would for sure have. And that's when they would start determining on what was gonna cost us even more, because we would have to buy the cars, we would have to do this, and.
Correct.
And they set the price of the car. It's not like we can go buy the car off the lot and say, "Have this is how much." It's,
And they would buy the car, provide the insurance, so we'd have no control over that, but there's no other way for 3 communities to split
yeah, I
that
mean, that's.
cost, so.
That's the whole problem, because there's just no locked-in price. But no, for the first 3 years, basically, you're paying, we would be giving them something, and it would be the same as it is now.
Which is basic service,
It's basic service.
Basic service.
which they're gonna put us back,
Well, were we ever not basic service?
basic service.
Well,
I mean, I remember when I was a little kid, there was a or Whitewater Township car in Miami Town, or Miami Town car, whatever they called it.
yeah, they
It's
never
been basic.
officially was.
I thought there
So-
was one that said it on the side at one
No,
time.
I tried to do that back in the day when they first started doing it, and,
They like sitting here, but
Yeah.
yeah. So, but, yeah, there were no dedicated cars. Like I say, they're,
Listen, I'm all about it. We could go into conversations about it forever, but
Well-
you gotta come up with the money,
gonna
and
need to
people
do
don't
that.
have the money. That's
Yeah.
just all there is to it.
yeah, we're going to need to do that, and we probably need to do that at these meetings. We need to talk about fire levies, what the sheriff wants, how we're going to go about it, and get some public input and see what the people want. I mean, yeah, 150 people voted for the 9.8 mills to have both. So, yeah,
Well, if the sheriff would lock it in, it would make it a lot easier. If they said right now, like, you guys are gonna have dedicated cars, the cars are gonna be this much, and I get inflation and stuff, and it could vary a little bit. That's one thing. When you're talking about millions, though, it's swaying $1 this way, $1 million that way. That's, for us,
It's
that's a big
impossible
number.
for us, with a small budget that we have,
You can't plan
to
it.
operate on an open-ended contract. We cannot do that.
I think more people would might
impossible.
vote for it if they knew that this is exactly what it was gonna
Right.
cost.
Right.
Here's
And they-
exactly what it's gonna cost, this is what you're gonna get for what you pay, it's gonna be dedicated. I think more people would get on board. I think the fact of the up in the air and not knowing what it's gonna cost 4 or 5 years from now, and not knowing exactly what service you're gonna get for that money,
I feel like, for me, personally, if I knew that there were going to be 3 cars in Whitewater, Crosby, and Harrison Townships, 24 hours a day, unless, you know, obviously, there's reasons for officers to get called out. You know, shootings, officer needs assistance, you know, huge accidents. Yeah, and if something like that happened here, they're going to pull cars from the near west of Miami Township, Cleese, North Bend. They're going to pull cars from Coleraine, Green. So, but, you know, if they would say, those 3 cars are going to be here, you know, if we're short a car in Anderson, we're not going to pull one of those cars over there. You know, we're going to let Anderson be short a car, you know, or they'll find coverage for it. You know, if they would guarantee that, I would feel better about voting for it. So, and I told them that, so.
Okay, and obviously, we
All right.
know that's not where they're at, so, but definitely, let's leave it on there. We can leave it under there as fire and sheriff,
we
but
can-
we definitely got to make a move on the fire.
we gotta get the fire on there, because we know what we need
And
for
if
the fire.
sheriff does- if it
We know
comes
what it's
up-
gonna take
If
for the
it comes
fire.
up, sheriff, it's on there, so
Well, I mean, we know the number for the fire
we
department.
already know it.
We know what has to happen, we know what needs to be there to keep things running, at no wasteful spending. Not building a new firehouse, not doing anything crazy, just normal operating budget. We know what we need. So that's easy to put out there.
I think
We need to
Chief-
keep going with that.
Chief told us last time what, a fire truck's gone up,
Yeah.
just since we bought our last one. It was, what, from 500 to 750? For basically the same truck. No bells, no whistles,
Yeah.
just the same truck that we bought.
Yeah.
So, when you're looking at a 33% increase,
Doug,
You probably can't have it, can you get some member of the sheriff's department to come out for this special meeting?
yeah,
Yeah, we will not set a special meeting until our next meeting.
And that's going to be for the fire department though, right?
Right.
That's just going to be for the fire department. I mean,
I think you need to address the sheriff. just
We
so
can
see what
address,
we're
we
gonna
can
do.
address the sheriff, but we need to address the levy for the fire department. If the sheriff stuff comes up, and then we'll address that sheriff at another date. For me, priority number one is our fire department.
and two, the sheriff thing, they need to get us they need to get us a number.
Yeah,
We need
we,
to know the number.
yeah, we,
We don't know the number.
We-
You don't know,
They don't know.
and if you don't know the answer, hopefully they can give you.
They don't know the answer. I've sat through
they
meeting
can't
after
give us
meeting
the
after meeting with them.
They're not giving,
They're not,
sheriff's
they don't
not giving
know.
us an answer. Right.
It's open-ended, and and I kind of get on her end, but you just can't get people on board
Yeah.
without locking something
So we're
in.
going to move forward with fire department is what we'll
That's
end up
definitely.
doing.
Do you want to set a meeting?
No, we'll do
for
it
that
next
between-
meeting,
All right, because next meeting is May,
right?
And we got to have it in by June, right?
yeah, so it only gives you 30 days between.
To try to get to, if we're going to try to have some for the public, if they want to come out and ask questions or talk about it.
It's up to you guys.
I mean, can we just do it before the next meeting, like before it or after the next meeting? I mean, if that's
I'm
just
okay
like if
with
somebody
meeting at
comes in-
6 o'clock for our next meeting. Meet it from 6 to 7 and discuss the fire levy, and then have our
Anybody that wants to come in and discuss it.
regular meeting at
We
7.
can just put that in the paper that we're going to,
Yeah, we'll just advertise the meeting's going to start
Yeah.
early for that purpose. We'll hold an open house.
what do you think, chief? You all right with that? Okay. Let's
You
do
good
it.
with that, Keith?
Let's do it.
I'm doing my golf game, but
We'll move the meeting up to 6 and do the, from 6 to 7.
Have the special meeting from 6 to 7, then regular meeting from 7 on.
Yeah,
And
I can
that'll be
advertise.
about the fire
yeah.
levy. Okay,
All right,
sounds good.
let's move on.
Okay, any other old business, trustee?
Yes, community development block grant that we've discussed. We had the 2 special meetings with advisories on the application, and we discussed the installation of pickleball courts and ADA compliant sidewalk on the side of the fields here where the pickleball courts would be located. And I would like to make a motion that we apply for the CDBG grant for that purpose.
Is that a motion?
That was a motion.
I'll second that.
Do you have that?
The amount on it, I believe, is right, 49,995. They kept it under 50,000.
49,999.
49,999.
Right at that.
Yeah.
Put it right at,
Yeah. So I would like to make the motion that we apply for that grant for
I'll
that
second.
purpose.
in a second from trustee Shively. Voice vote, please.
Mr. Pope,
Yay.
Mr. Shively?
Yay.
And Mr. King?
Yay.
I do have one more thing under old
Okay.
business, just to bring it up real quick. With the problem we've been having, the young fellow that brought up some codes and stuff for us to check into on trying to handle a property. I forget what the address is down there. What's the address down there, chief?
It's on Lincoln Street.
It's on, yeah, it's something on Lincoln Street. Anyhow, Jim had looked into it and had attorneys look at it. Two of the things are things we can't do. One is something that maybe, but it's a long drawn out, not that we wouldn't, but it has moved forward. They finally arrested him. it's moved forward. He's got a public defender, and he has to appear on the 30th, so that is all moved. It's moving forward on their end, on the EPA side of it, and on the health department and stuff side of it. So it's moving forward still, and if we have to, we can, if something doesn't happen, maybe we can look into this. The section 505, dot 86 is the one that maybe we could work somehow, but it would be drawn out like the deal in Miami Town was.
Right.
Years. So hopefully it keeps going forward. I just didn't, anybody that's been following along with that, we're still pursuing that, and it looks like the other part is, my grandfather always said you give them enough slack to hang themselves eventually.
Do you want to just go ahead and leave that under old business then as well?
Well, we usually, if something changes, I usually bring it in.
Do you want me to go ahead and get the information from the Board of Health, send it to Brian Pacheco, and have him prepare the resolution in case we need to do it?
Yep,
I
yep.
would, yep,
Yeah, if that's not a big deal, we'll do that, move forward with that.
perfect, yeah, thank you. Any other old business?
I do not have any other old
Okay.
business.
All right. New business, we've already done the fire department with the entry doors. So we did A, we did the B. C, replacing the existing phone system. And let me read this, what Peggy has on here. Replacing the existing phone system, recommended a Parallel Technologies Incorp. cost for initial conversations estimated at $5,596.06. The estimated monthly savings would be $1,000. These prices are estimated at this time. And again, I know that information has been out there, I'm all for that. Did we find anything on if any of the COVID money could be used in the phone system, Jim?
We can, because it's going to be used to, our phones, you can't buy parts for. I think Scott found a couple used ones last time they were looking for them. So, yeah, we have to have communications between our fire stations and the administration building. So that makes it COVID Recovery Act eligible for us, so.
Perfect.
Plus, it's going to pay for itself over the first year anyway because we're going to save money.
Yeah.
So,
I'm for it. I'll make a motion to accept that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll second that motion.
All right, voice vote on that one, please.
Mr. Pope,
Yay.
Mr. Shively,
Yay.
Mr. King.
Yay. Next one we have under new business is the D section, fire station awning replacement, recommended from the anchor sign and awning. And this is assigning the Hooven Fire Station 3 awnings at $6,200. Eat Town Hall Fire Station 3 awnings, $7,700. Miami Town Fire Station 2 awnings at $6,700. I don't, Chief, did you send all those out?
This was a project that Peggy had brought to my attention, and I sent all over to her.
Okay.
I gave you that
Oh,
information.
okay,
This is the same awning company that did the awnings on the
Correct.
administration building.
okay. What are you guys' thoughts on the awnings?
My initial thought was, I definitely want to do Hooven and Miami Town, and I was wishy-washy on E-Town, but driving by, looking at it, lead by example, I don't want to slack on maintenance on our old buildings because they're what we have and we can't afford to replace these buildings. So keeping up and taking care of this kind of stuff, I feel is kind of a must. I realize it's only awnings, but it keeps the water away from the doors that we're spending a bunch of money to replace. I think we need to do the awnings.
These are like the awnings we replaced back here, so they're
Correct.
basically lifetime
Yeah.
guarantee.
Josh, do we have a fifth microphone? We need to get a microphone at that table over there.
Where are you at with this, Trustee Shively?
I mean, it's got to be done. I mean, so it's, my problem, my thing about it is it's inevitable, right? I
Right.
mean, their lifetime warranty, which I like that, I like that aspect of it. it just, it's like even our personal lives, it seems like everything hits you at once. I don't understand it. It's like,
And it's our buildings and.
well, it seems like nothing ever spreads out, right? It seems like a lot this
Well,
month.
yeah.
But I think it needs to be, I think it needs to be done. I don't,
Most of the things that we have been discussing at this point, I'm not, the community development block grant, COVID Act for the phone system.
So that's all covered.
Most
so-
of that is covered, not hitting our general funds or
Right.
fire budget.
I'm going to go ahead and make a motion to approve all three of these.
Yeah,
for
and I will second that
Moving
motion.
Miami Town and E-Town. Okay. Voice vote, please.
Mr. Pope?
Yay.
Mr. Shively?
Yay.
Mr. King?
Yay. And that's why I was bringing up to Jim, if that phone can be COVID, it makes it a
Well,
little
you
bit
pay,
easier.
you pay for it with COVID funds, and then your savings are out of
Correct.
general funds, so,
Right.
it's just crazy. Everything's like,
it helps.
I guess it's never ending.
So the next one is replacement of the sign at the Drive Fork Community Center with electronic LED message boards. Recommended is Signorama, remove existing sign, install new sign with base and cabinet with township logo, complete with electronics, $50,343.11. Funded from HCPH grant and ARA grant, no general funds from township used for this project.
So,
Elaborate on that?
yeah, if you recall, we applied for a $25,000 mini grant from the Hamilton County Board of Health. Part of that was to let people know what's happening, especially at this building, but throughout the township. So about, I'm going to guess at 13,000 of that was for an electronic message board. We were thinking we might be in the $25,000, $30,000 range, but by the time we got around to tearing out the old sign, putting in the new, with the upgraded sign that they recommended, and they showed Peggy some examples of why you wanted to go with the better signboard, because they gave her an example of a local business that they did the sign, recommended the better sign, they didn't get it. Now their sign has blank spots in it, and they can't get the parts to fix it. So it needs replaced again. So this was one of those, it's a lot of money, but we lose that 13,000 if we don't use it, and we can use Recovery Act money. The ARA is American Recovery Act COVID funds. So we can use that, something that, gosh, we've been talking about doing that since before I got here.
I will remind you that I can remember coming to the meetings when Brownie and LaWanda and Paul Ziegler would be discussing the sign needing replaced, and it's been for as long as we've been talking about the sewer program.
Sewer program, right.
With that all being said, I make a motion we replace the sign as read here in the new business.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Just so that nothing's coming out of the general fund for that. So everybody's
Right.
clear on that.
Yeah,
That's-
nothing's
So
coming out of the
everybody's-
general
Did
fund.
you hear, that's money we need to go ahead and use. It's not again, this is another one, not coming out.
It
of
sounds
the-
like we're spending a whole lot of township money here, but we're taking advantage of a whole lot of available grants, thanks to the hard work of Peggy and Jim on acquiring these grants,
Well, and
and
if we don't
Josh.
If we don't use it, it goes away.
You don't use
I
it.
wish we could use it for something
I
else. but
wish we
there's-
could save it,
Yeah,
but that's not an option.
I got a list of things we.
Actually, the Recovery Act money has to be gone by the end of this year.
Yes.
Yeah,
So,
Yes.
so anyhow, that's what that's
Yep.
from.
We got a motion by trustee Pope by second, and we want to do a voice vote.
Mr. Pope?
Yay.
Mr. Shively?
Yay.
And Mr. King?
Yay. Okay, the next one we have, replaced sign for the administration. Maintenance building, or department building is the one in the back. Recommended also the Signorama installation and sign is $6,892.90.
Now, this sign will cost us,
That
correct?
will cost
This one
us.
will cost us out of the assorted maintenance
Yeah, that one can be,
Budgets.
that one can be split based on the amount of floor space between road and bridge,
bridges
gas
and-
tax, whatever,
Yes.
and general fund.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
fire budget.
I'll make
Chief,
it's a lit sign, yes.
Yeah, it's a backlit sign.
yeah, we took what year how long ago did we paint that building, Josh? 2 years ago? Yeah, so for 3 years, we've been looking for something to replace that looked better than the old letters that were brittle and falling apart. So, I think Peggy did a good job in finding this one.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to go ahead and move on that.
I'll second it.
Voice vote, please.
Mr. Pope?
Yay.
Mr. Shively?
Yay.
Mr. King?
Yay. And last one we have is a closing of the street in Miami Town for the Puppy Palooza, which is on June 15th, 2024. And I'm,
That's a no-brainer.
Yeah, that's a-
I'll make a motion, we close this.
I think it's on the 27th.
June 15th, what you got?
I thought it was the third weekend every year. Fourth?
I'll just make a motion, we close the street for Puppy Palooza.
When you need to close it for, how's that sound? Diane, will that work? 'Cause-
Just let Josh know when you need the barricades.
So, yeah, we're thinking it was 22nd.
I'll second it.
Yeah, all right. Voice vote, please.
Mr. Pope?
Yay.
Mr. Shively?
Yay.
And Mr. King?
Yay. I do want to put under the new business, so we can end up putting that under old businesses, that I'm going to be getting with our fire chief, our administrator, and our fiscal officer, myself, and have a meeting with this Gosel Trucking over in Hooven to discuss some of the issues that we keep getting complaints about. There's been a series of emails with Gosel Trucking. It sounds like they're willing to figure some things out. Josh, we'll probably end up having you in there. Did I include you, Josh, in that email? I think so. Okay, so we'll have Josh in that as well, and then we'll keep the other trustees up to date.
Yeah, Peggy, if you could forward me emails and stuff, keep me posted as to what's
And we'll come up
happening.
with a date, Peggy. I did send that out. I want to try to have a meeting before our May meeting with that Gosel Trucking, and I did give Chief some information to start looking at. And so if we can put that underneath some old business, because that keeps coming up again and again, Jim. And I do have one more new business that we probably should look under old business as well. Chief, I've been getting a lot of complaints about the burned down house up on Walker Drive. I think it was a trailer, and that they're still burning tires, and maybe, I don't know what our process could be about cleaning that up. I wanted to get something out to our sheriff as well. I don't know if they've gotten any calls on that. But that's another issue, kind of like the E-Town that's starting to come. And I agree with folks that are bringing it up, because it is something that needs to be looked at as well.
To the best of my knowledge, we have not had any open burn calls up on Walker Drive. And also, if I remember correctly, don't quote me on this, but I will look into it. There is a section of the Ohio Revised Code that requires burned down structures to be taken care of within 1 year of the incident.
Okay.
I will look and see if I can find that.
Okay, if
And
you
send
could.
that information over to you.
Yeah. And then, Jim, we'll get on that one as well, because, I think when you do these cleanups, Josh and Peggy, people start like, what about, and people are starting saying, this is what my area is looking like, and I totally agree. I did go up there and take a look. It is really bad.
Yeah.
It's off site, so, it's off the road, you can't see it, but there's people that live up there as well. And Jim, that might be something that Board of Health might and all that, and see where Chief's at with it. I'd rather get on the front end of this, kind of
Oh, yeah.
like, same way with the whole E-Town situation, okay?
Yeah.
So you're aware Walker Drive is a private drive, it's not.
Yes. And then, so whatever you guys can find out as well, too. So, yes, and that's a good point, that is a private drive, so, but, I mean, people were bringing it up, and I agree, we can at least put it on and see where we're at with it. Do you guys have any new business?
I do not.
I do not. Do you have anything else you
No,
know?
that was enough.
That was enough, that was plenty.
At some point, you might want to ask Jim if he'd like to come up and be recognized.
Yeah?
So, see, it's bad when we're all sitting here, we know our new EMS chief that just joined the department, and so it's easy for us to know Jim Corbin
Address all that initially, or?
because he's been here a long time, so.
Thanks a lot for appointing me. I'm very flattered by that. I look forward to working with the chief and everybody in the fire department. Like, all of you guys have been wonderful to me over the years. When I was still working for West Jan and having contact with you. And we're already starting on stuff and doing some more good, exciting things. So you're going to see a lot of new stuff coming down the pipe in the way of training and how we do things on the EMS side of the fire department. So it's only going to get better.
I hear you,
awesome.
absolutely.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure working with you with West Jad, and I look forward to working with you with Whitewater also.
Right. And if anybody ever needs to get in contact with me, please call me or email me. I know most of you guys have my information. If not, I can get it to you. And
Oh, we can find you.
I know.
Absolutely, congratulations.
Thank you. I
Absolutely.
appreciate it very much.
Thank you for your hard work and dedication.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, just real quick, and I know, I don't want to keep beating on this, just so Keith, I did bring up the whole vehicle tax with this place we're going to be discussing as well, that Gosel Trucking. So that's in the making too, about making sure if we're getting kickbacks on license tax. Okay? So other than that, any other public comments? Anybody? Diane?
Two things very quickly. Did the Great Parks get a hold of you with regard to, is it a bike trail or a walking trail that's going to come through Miami Town somehow? Yeah, it fell out of the sky.
Who did you,
Well,
No?
our new president for Miami Town Improvement and Civic Association, this person from Great Parks, reached out to her about having a meeting, and the first meeting is going to be with specific businesses, and then the second meeting is going to be a public meeting. So I'm assuming maybe the public or the private meeting is for property that this is going to run through, I'm guessing. But it's going to be this month. I can let you know what the day is.
do you want to address that since you've been going to those meetings, or? I went to the last one.
I had not heard any more on it.
I
So,
mean, it's going to connect to Butler County.
Well,
so they've been working on this for a long time.
Is this part of the Blue Trails?
Well, yeah. If you give me a minute, I'll get you the meeting dates. Maybe. Of course, nothing ever works when you want it to.
If you talk to them, can you ask them, the parks, to reach out to me?
Yes.
So we can have a little
I don't know if I'm
correspondence?
So-
going to be invited to the.
So here-
private- Go ahead.
This is the initial meetings, and I just know this because they've asked Miami Township to be a co-host for two. Monday, April 22nd at the Miami Township Community Center, 5:30 to 6:30.
It's going to be at the Church of Christ because
Yeah,
of the
well,
handicap
I'll
accessibility.
get to that.
yeah.
Let's see. Then they're having another one on Tuesday, April 23rd at the Carriage House Farm on Lawrenceburg Road. And
Tuesday, April 23rd, that's next Tuesday.
Yeah.
yeah, and then
You'll be busy.
Yeah, let me get to the one for Miami Town.
Because a few years back, when Jake White was the head of the SPCA, he had this vision to bring the walking trail from up on Mount Hope Road in Whitewater down over the hill and go underneath 128 and end up at the dog park. So at first I thought maybe that's what was going to happen, but then someone told me that I think it's just going to go down 128. It would have to.
Well, they aren't
You know
sure,
any-
they aren't sure yet if they're going to, which side of the Great Miami they're going to go down. Here we go. This is the shared use trail open house, Miami Town Church of Christ, May 2nd, 5:30 to 7:30. So, and it's,
So is that for just specific, or is that the public meeting?
that's public meeting.
Public meeting.
So
I guess we'll
it's
find
a
out.
shared use trail open house. So they've been holding a series of these, guys been kind of sitting in on these. I made the last one, which was up in Colerain. And right now, they're just getting input on things. They were missing things like they knew about the Cleese Community Park, they didn't know about the West Park, which actually has access to the Great Miami River there, that Miami Township has. They didn't know about a new park that Miami Township was putting in on Buffalo Ridge. They have no idea how they're going to get from, they want to connect the soccer fields and the Bell Park to Shawnee, but they don't know how they're going to get there, so this is probably part of that, to get some public input on that. It's a great plan. They want to connect to what's already, Diane said, at Butler County, they want to connect it all the way to Shawnee Lookout. Great plan, and it's for bike trails, hiking trails, waterway trails for kayaks and canoes. They had no idea about the condition of some of the rivers that I was able to share with them. So they're actually looking at some ways to improve the waterways. I don't know what Sharon and Dave have been involved with that, I'm sure. I know they've been concerned about some of the safety things on the river, but yeah. So,
Guess we'll find out.
Yeah, I attended the meeting at the church, Whitewater Crossings that they had there. I discussed our concerns with, they were advertising our water access point, river access points on the Whitewater, and we were getting overwhelmed over there, people parking on the streets and double parking in the grass. And I asked them if they could back off on the advertising of our river sites, because we're just getting loaded with traffic in and out of them, to where the chief for emergency service, the boat ramp was full. So anyhow, they did back that off to.
and I just sent all three of those notices to Peggy, and copied you guys so you can get them on the, we can get them on the
They got a lot of
website.
great ideas, it's just,
But that's,
they're trying to figure it out.
Yeah, it's
They're gonna
all
never do it.
still-
I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
I mean, we're throwing a bunch of stuff out there and see what sticks, and see,
Anybody
it'd be
gonna go-
awesome.
Anybody going to go to that meeting on May 2nd?
I gotta look and see.
Now, the one on next Tuesday, you said at Carriage House?
Yes.
I put that down to go, I was gonna try to go to that one.
Sorry, I can only open one at a time. April 22nd is the Miami Township Community Center, and
23rd was the carriage house.
yeah,
Yeah,
23rd. will be-
23rd, I'm planning on going to that one.
Yeah.
So close to home, it'd be a good one for me to go
Yeah.
to.
okay. Second thing is, I text you both, they've started to replace the windows in the town hall. And they've got two of them in, and then they decided they had to stop because it was raining all last week. So they're going to pick up Thursday, bring a bigger crew in. I don't know why they thought two guys could do all those windows. But anyway, they look great. So it'll be completed this week, hopefully. So next month, on May 22nd, We're going to have a donors evening at the Historical Society to thank all the people that donated to replace the windows. We're going to have 6:30 appetizers, 7 o'clock there's going to be a program about the windows, about the history of the building. And so I know this looks like a flyer, but it's a formal invitation, and I wanted to get it to you before, I didn't know if I sent it, whether you would all get it before next month. So I wanted to give you a personal invitation for that evening, and Peggy and Josh as well, to come and meet the donors and have a nice evening.
Time and date again?
I'll give it to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Diane. Any other public comments? We do not have any executive session comments from the board.
I don't have any.
I'm commented out for the night.
Yeah, me too. Okay.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Voice vote, please.
Mr. Pope? Yay. Mr. Shively?
Yay.
And Mr. King?
Yay.